Actually, brother was my principal in Sacred Heart School for 2 years. He taught me one subject. But at that time, we don't really know him well because he was the principal and we were the student. And that year was the first year that I think 30 plus girls came to his school, and he actually don't know what to do with us. It has always been a boys' school. So when I come to Kuching and I heard that he was celebrating his 80th birthday, the ex-student Clarence Chien, he asked me whether I would like to come and meet brother. So I came. We came actually. Of course, brother cannot remember me. But anyway, he was saying that he wants someone to help to set up an office for YLK. So that's how I started with YLK. But when brother had an operation in Singapore and his health was not so good, YLK asked me to come over to here to help him with his preparation of the lessons and so on, because his typing is not so good, on computers. So that's how I get to know brother better, and he is a wonderful man to work with, a bit impatient at times, but he knows what he wants. Okay, so when brother was in hospital, because his health keep on failing and we were in and out of hospital, there's so often we have to go for appointments and at GH, okay, whatever hospital there is in Kuching, because brother is very specific. If he is sick, he has some problem with his leg, that's the doctor he wants to see. He cannot see any other doctor, So if it's lung, he must see that doctor. Any other doctor he's not going to see. So we go around all the different hospital, and when he get worse, he was admitted to the hospital, and that's when we actually get to know each other better, because we have to spend time waiting for the doctor, waiting for the medicine, waiting for blood test. He has, he prefers to be in the hospital alone. So he doesn't want people to visit him because he says he needed the time to rest. So when people come, talk and talk and talk, he says he cannot rest. So anytime people want to visit him and they call me, his answer will always be say no, he want to rest. But even during the time in the hospital, he will always be thinking of his student. He will be thinking of the lessons that they have missed, and he will try to make arrangement on what day to start and so on, what lesson to give. Even when he was in KL during the final days, that time they were having exam, and he was trying to find people to mark the paper. Actually, he managed to get someone to mark the English literature and another one to mark the Bible knowledge. And brother was very, he was at peace when he found out that these two have come forward to mark the papers for him. Otherwise, every day he will be saying no one to mark the paper, and he cannot because his hands is shaking so much. So when he was in KL, the first 1 week he was actually very, very patient. He was very patient. But he actually, we didn't know that he can go out of the hospital. So we thought he has to stay in the hospital. Until one day the doctor said, actually you can go. So I think everybody knows he loves to read. So actually his first thought was he wants to go to a bookshop. So I have my ex-classmate and schoolmate were in KL, and they were very good. They came over. Actually, they gave me a lot of support because it was not easy looking after him day in, day out in the hospital. So he decided he wants to go to the bookshop. But then at the last minute he said no. He said supermarket so high, how to work, even though he's in a wheelchair, but he said it's very difficult. So he decided to go and see Petrajaya. So we went, and actually he wants to go into the boat. It was a wonderful time for him. I think that's the only time he left the hospital and the only time he enjoyed himself before he died. Every morning when I go there, he will always ask me, at first he will ask me, do you bring your computer, my laptop. I said, why? He said, I want to read up the news on football. He is still very optimistic that he can get well with that operation. But he knew it has to be done, so he tolerates it. You know, he tolerates it. Actually, he's really a man of tolerance. He can really tolerate so much, you know. When I think a normal person wouldn't be able to do so, but he is optimistic that he can get well. That's why he can tolerate this tube, all this tube and so on. As I say, he wants the operation. So the doctor, after all the tests and so on, said that his heart was doing very well, and then his lungs is okay, his breathing is okay. So they decided to go through the operation. So just before, because it was quite sudden, so I think 3 o'clock the doctor came in and said the operation will be at 4, I think. Anyway, it was a short time, so I asked him, brother, are you ready? He said, yes, he's ready. So he went for the operation. He didn't say much because the tube was all there, so he couldn't really talk much also. Yeah, he was optimistic. Even when he come out from the operation, I went into ICU to see him. He was still okay. He still say, you can go home now. He said, you know, so because he wants to rest, I suppose. So the next day I went to see him. He was, I think it was on a Saturday. He said, I cannot remember. The second, on the 2nd of August. He also said there's not much I can do, so he asked me, you can go back and rest, you know, because he knows he's in ICU, he cannot do much also, and I cannot do much for him. But anyway, I stayed outside for a while until afternoon, I think. Then I went back to see him. He was sleeping, so I left. Then the next day, ate something, the nurse called, say find something, the heartbeat is already coming down.